Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Get ready to dive deep into a mystery that bridges our waking lives with the hidden whispers of the night. Have you ever wondered what if, every single time you drifted off to sleep, you weren't just resting your mind, but crossing an invisible boundary? What if you entered a secret realm where ancient gods and long-gone ancestors weren't just figments of your imagination, but were actually leaning in, ready to share their profound secrets? Imagine waking up and realizing that the vivid, sometimes bizarre, dream you just had wasn't random, but a direct message, a coded communication meant just for you. Well, that's exactly what people believed thousands of years ago, along the fertile banks of the magnificent Nile River. In ancient Egypt, the line between waking and sleeping wasn't blurred. It was a sacred meeting point, a profound threshold. Tonight, we're taking a journey back in time to this incredible civilization, a world where pharaohs, scholarly scribes, and even ordinary villagers believed their dreams spoke in potent hieroglyphs. Get comfortable, because we're entering a world where slumber was an ancient text waiting to be read, and the sleeping mind was nothing less than a sacred temple. An Egyptian scribe carving hieroglyphs by torchlight on a temple wall, a full-frame medieval-style scene without any borders, decorations or ornamental framing. The image should be painted in the style of 14th century European historical artwork, using slightly flattened figures. Long before the Romans penned their epic histories or the Greeks charted the stars along the life-giving flow of the Nile, the civilization we now marvel at as ancient Egypt woke up each morning to more than just the warmth of the sun. They awoke from dreams, not fleeting fantasies, but profound visions loaded with meaning, often believed to be weighed and sent by their powerful gods, and so significant they were even inscribed into enduring stone and the delicate papyrus. The word they used for dream was rasut, and guess what it literally translates to? Awakening. Think about that for a moment. For the ancient Egyptians, a dream wasn't some internal, private hallucination. It was an external encounter, a moment of profound revelation. It was as if their true selves were waking up to a deeper reality. One of the most famous dream stories comes from the reign of Thutmose IV. Picture this: a young prince, Thutmose, takes a break from his royal duties one sweltering afternoon. He lies down for a nap in the shade of one of the world's most iconic monuments, the towering Great Sphinx at Giza. The Great Sphinx of Giza under a midday sun with sand drifting, painted in the style of 14th century European historical artwork, slightly flattened, full frame. All for centuries, desert sands had drifted relentlessly, slowly burying the majestic statue's shoulders, almost consuming it. As the prince slept, a divine vision appeared. The mighty sun god, Ra-Harati, embodied in the Sphinx itself, began to speak. The message was clear, resounding through Thutmose's slumber. If he, the prince, would clear away the encroaching sand from the Sphinx, he would claim the crown of Egypt. Thutmose awoke, the divine command burning in his memory. He didn't hesitate. He obeyed, ascended to the throne, and in a powerful testament to his dream, he erected the now famous dream stele Elitzer, between the colossal paws of the Sphinx. This wasn't just some random dream. It was a divine commission, a pivotal, threshold moment that changed the course of history. But this profound belief wasn't just for pharaohs and princes. In ordinary villages across Egypt, the same conviction held true. The night offered much more than just physical rest. The dream was a message, accessible to everyone. To actively seek these divine messages, temples opened their darkened chambers for what were called incubation dreams. A dream incubation chamber in an ancient Egyptian temple, people sleeping on mats, priests standing by, full-frame medieval-style artwork, 14th century European style. Supplicants would intentionally sleep in these sacred rooms, hoping to receive an apparition, a direct message from the gods themselves, deities like Imhotep, the god of medicine and wisdom, or Beige, the protective dwarf god who guarded against evil and nightmares. Imagine deliberately entering a sacred space, lying down, and waiting for the divine to speak to you in your sleep. The importance of dreams was so ingrained that scribes, particularly in artisan villages like Deir el-Medina, didn't just write histories or sacred texts. They kept dream books. These were meticulous lists of various dream visions and their corresponding interpretations. Ancient Egyptian hieroglyphic dream book papyrus being unrolled by a priest, full frame, 14th century European style painting. Imagine, dreaming of falling into a well might mean imprisonment. Seeing the moon in your sleep could be a sign of pardon or freedom. Even something as seemingly strange as eating crocodile flesh was believed to signify elevation to a higher office. The Egyptians understood that words carried multiple meanings. Donkey and great were homonyms in their language, so dreaming of eating a donkey could actually symbolize great fortune. It was a complex, symbolic language spoken by the subconscious. A crocodile by the Nile River at dawn, symbol of dream omen, full frame, 14th century European style artwork. Considered the hieroglyphs themselves, each sign a symbol, each symbol a clue. For the Egyptians, the dream world wasn't a separate, fantastical realm. It was a profound mirror of the waking world, but one where divine beings, the spirits of the deceased, and the hidden forces actively arranged letters and designs to reveal your fate. In a fairy tale sense, your dream was already written. You just needed to learn how to read its code. men scribes and priests became dedicated dream interpreters, guiding people through these nocturnal texts. While interpretations could vary, dreams were broadly categorized into two main types, good and fear and bad way. The significance of this distinction was so great that bad dreams were often recorded in vibrant red ink, a warning, a sign to be heeded. Now, let's bring this to life with a story. Our focus is on an artisan scribe named Amunher. He lived in the bustling village of Deir el-Medina, nestled at the foot of the majestic Theban hills during the New Kingdom. By day, Amunher skillfully carved and painted the elaborate tomb chambers of pharaohs and nobles. By night, he returned to his humble clay brick home, shared with his wife, Mary, to rest. An Egyptian artisan carving a tomb painting deep inside Thebes at twilight, full frame, 14th century European style. One dry summer evening, a strange and profound sleep fell upon Amunher. In his dream, he found himself traversing a vast, desolate desert of shifting sands. In the hazy distance, a colossal monument slowly emerged, a powerful lion's body, crowned with a human face. Then, a voice, deep and echoing, resonated through the stillness. "Lift me from the dust, and your house shall stand firm." He awoke as the first light of dusk gently kissed his bed. He couldn't recall the precise details of the voice, but the powerful vision of the buried monument haunted him. At dawn, driven by an inexplicable urgency, he carried his dream to the temple courtyard of Beige, the protector god. Sir, a priest, wise and ancient, listened intently, then peered into Amunher's eyes, reading the signs of his soul. "You have been chosen," the priest declared, his voice firm. "The monument you saw is the great Sphinx. You must petition the local overseer to clear away the sins that consume it. Your reward will be great elevation, and a lasting memory for your house." Amunher was stunned. Why him? He was just a simple artisan, not a prince or a powerful noble. Yet, the dream burned within his mind, an undeniable truth. He followed the priest's instruction, humbly petitioning the overseer. For weeks, he waited, a knot of tension in his stomach. Meanwhile, whispers swirled through the village. The sands around the Sphinx were indeed swallowing ancient stone. The old temple beside it lay neglected and forgotten. Finally, the overseer consented. A crew was assembled, and the arduous work began. As they painstakingly cleared away the ancient sand, they gradually uncovered the colossal paws of the great lion god, and beneath them, the sacred inscription of the dream stele was revealed. The voice Amunher had heard, perhaps it truly had been the sun god, Ra-Harakti, himself. The inscription on the dream stele between the Sphinx paws being uncovered, full frame, 14th century European style painting. Amunher's name was added to the list of laborers who had cleared the sand, a humble but meaningful recognition. And as promised, his family's home walls were painted with a modest, beautiful funerary scene, honoring his service, his connection to a divine command. His dream had been the bridge, a profound connection between mortal and the deity, between the encroaching dust and the enduring monument. Across ancient Egypt, these kinds of stories weren't just legends. They were everyday reality. God spoke to mortals in slumber. Scribes meticulously read the nocturnal text. Powerful symbols were carved onto temple walls, and the ordinary people waited, with hopeful anticipation, for their own revelations from the divine. For the Egyptians, dreams were serious business, not just idle images, but potent signs that could govern life, predict death, determine office, influence fortune, and shape fate itself. A modern viewer's perspective, a person waking up and reading hieroglyphs in a dream vision, ancient Egyptian motifs, full frame, 14th century European style painting. And even though thousands of years later we call them dreams, for the ancient Egyptians, the sleeping mind was a vast, fertile field of writing, a boundless field of hieroglyphs, a profound field of meaning. When they awoke, they didn't simply rub their eyes and dismiss the night's visions. They actively decoded a message, a powerful hieroglyph from the beyond. So, as you prepare to drift off tonight, I invite you to consider this. What if your dreams aren't just random images and fleeting thoughts? What if they are, in fact, ancient texts, waiting patiently for you to read them, waiting for you to unlock their hidden wisdom? Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey through the dim world of ancient Egypt. If you found this fascinating, please hit that like button, subscribe for more historical deep dives, and share your thoughts in the comments below. What's the most vivid dream you've ever had? Let me know. See you in the next one.